Hi, it's Linz from Sweet Natured, and today we're having a look at the pros and cons of booking a shore excursion through the cruise line versus doing it yourself. As always, I'm joined by Maggie.
Hello.
Hello, who put the video together, and this is my first time watching, so let's see what we can see.
So as you said, Linz, today we're looking at the pros and cons of taking an official cruise excursion compared to maybe doing something yourself or booking a third-party tour operator.
I understand.
We're going to take a look at the pros and cons, obviously, as well as what some cost comparisons are between the two.
Scary.
Scary. We're going to start off by looking at the cons.
Okay.
So the negative side of booking an official one.
We're doing it the other way around.
We are doing it the other way around.
Ooh.
We're going to start off with the obvious one.
Yeah.
And that's price.
Oh my goodness.
Now, generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, official cruise excursions are more expensive.
I've never seen a cheaper one.
P&O are very reasonable compared to the third parties.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, they are. Also, there's less variety.
Yes.
Your cruise lines at any port of call will have between sort of 15 and 30 options, which sounds a lot, but you'll see in a moment when we look at the competitors, rather,
Yeah.
it's really not, because there's a lot more than those things going in. And it's much more rigid.
Rigid?
Rigid. There's no option to go off and do your own thing.
Oh no, you can't go off piste, no.
No, I mean, you might have a bit where it says you've got free time and you can go meet, but you meet at the same time.
Oh yeah, and then you get a
Everything.
death stare if you're late.
You don't be late.
Oh no.
Linz, would you like to invite people to subscribe if they haven't?
Yes, I would like to invite you to subscribe. We try and help as best we can. So, and thank you if you already have subscribed. It really does mean a lot to us and to the channel, so thank you.
And if you can hit that like button, that'll be awesome. So let's take a look at some comparisons.
Okay.
An excursion in Rome,
Rome, I'm putting my fingers
in
up
quotation marks.
Yes,
People
yes.
can't see you doing quotation
I
marks.
can't
otherwise.
with my fingers now.
So about an hour and a half drive. Mm-hmm. If you look at Princess, for example,
Yes.
Rome on your own, so them taking you there,
Yeah.
starts from $99.95.
Dollars.
Yeah. Right. If you look at someone like Viator in this particular example,
And do they pick you up from the port? Oh,
they
yes, I
pick
can
you up
see
from
that,
port
yes.
and take you there,
Yeah.
and they will do a Splendour of Rome tour for around $94.63.
Okay.
If you wanted a private excursion,
Oof.
that's around £60 each.
Yeah. I
Both
mean,
ways. So considerably cheaper. If we take a look at an excursion in Nassau, for instance, where you docked in the city,
Yeah.
with Celebrity, you've got excursions starting around 73, going up to about 700.
Oof.
So quite expensive.
Yes.
But there are some local ones that are equally expensive as well. But you could do some with them, like the walking tours.
But we booked via Viator.
Celebrity, £24, which I think is pretty reasonable.
But we booked a Viator one.
If you look at Venture Ashore, we're not sponsored by any of these.
Yeah.
They're getting to know Nassau, so their walking tour,
Yeah.
$36.26. So it's actually cheaper to use the official one than the local one,
Oh, wow.
which
You
is
would never
quite
think
interesting.
that.
No, you automatically assume that it's more expensive.
Yes.
In actual fact, a lot of the time it's not.
Okay. Well, I don't. Maybe.
So it's a case of looking at the
Yeah, you have to
excursions
do
on a
your research.
per case
You have
basis.
to do your research.
Another option is simply doing it yourself.
Oh, thank you for my Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, you can go your own way.
Thank you.
I'm not going to attempt to sing.
No, please.
Which simply means if you docked in the right sort of place, such as Nassau or Vigo or La Coruña or any of the other ones where you're very close to where the city you want to explore, the area,
Yeah.
you can simply get off and go for a wander.
You can, and we went to Seafood Street, and they were charging like £30 or something to go on.
To go on an excursion to there, and it was what, 2-minute walk?
It wasn't a far walk at all.
You know, so when you get things like that, often going out and exploring it, it's a good way of doing it.
Yes.
Now, downside to that is you're just going out and having a wander, so you don't know what your day's going to
No,
bring.
and there may be some highlight that you miss.
Yeah, and depending on where you're going, some places are much more tourist friendly at the port than others.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an option.
Yeah.
So let's look at the pros. If you look at, I've used P&O as an example here, but they all say the same. It's around complete peace of mind.
It's like an insurance policy, basically, isn't it?
It is. You know you're not going to get left on the dock at the end of the day.
And I cut it fine with your mum that time I went to Sardinia.
You did. You nearly, well, you would have been late, but you were on an official excursion.
Yes.
So therefore the cruise ship waits for you. So it's a big plus. Also with the cruise lines, you're getting picked up right at the port where you pull in.
And with your sticker.
You get a little sticker or someone walking around with the paddle.
I
And
love a paddle and a sticker.
you love a paddle and a sticker. It's more, in all honesty, it's more about that peace of mind, isn't it?
Yes.
Why people will do it.
Yeah.
You know, you have got less variety. If you looked at the Viator one that I mentioned earlier, in that one particular port, as the example, they had 970 options.
Yikes.
There were 28 on the cruise ship.
That's 978 ways to get left behind.
It is, but it also depends what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because you've got much more variety
Yeah, I guess so.
outside of it.
Can I say something here? Because
You can.
especially as I'm drinking, you also know where the loos are when you go on an official tour. They appreciate restrooms, whereas if you go by yourself, you
don't.
have to go seek them out.
You do. If you're on a third party tour,
Then they are
I would
out
expect
for
them
it.
to do that as well.
But it can, yeah,
But it's taking that problem away from you, isn't it?
yeah, that you're having to worry about where and when you can go.
Another thing that you've got is if the port doesn't happen for any reason,
Yes,
it's a lot easier to get a refund.
it certainly is if you've booked via the cruise line.
Now, some third party operators do guarantee if your ship misses the port, they give you a refund.
No questions.
No
asked,
questions
apart
asked.
from-
Not everyone,
Yeah.
but the bigger ones certainly do.
Yeah.
But it is much more easier to get that refund if you've missed it.
Yes,
And also, and we've had this happen to us, if the excursion isn't as promised,
it doesn't go to plan.
doesn't quite go as they thought,
I mean, we could have a whole episode on this excursion. I
maybe
think.
that's on a live chat sometime.
Oh, good grief.
But it's a lot easier to have a conversation about them and perhaps get a refund or a partial
And a
refund.
little bit more.
And a little bit more in some particular instances. But you know that from the pro side of it, that they've vetted the tour agencies that they use because they don't work for the tour lines.
Oh, no.
You know,
There's a
they-
kickback, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. The cruise lines make their money from that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's a fairly decent amount of money. But they've taken that, guaranteeing that risk.
Yeah, it's their reputation, isn't it, at the same time?
It is, because if something goes wrong, you're not going to that third party.
You're going to the cruise line.
You're going to the cruise line. You're going to the desk on your ship
Yeah.
and saying, can I have some money back?
Yes.
Or, you know, depending on what's actually gone wrong, if anything.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, it's that if you miss a port for any reason, and we've had ports change on us and not missed it, they've just changed days.
They've just changed days and done a bit of a switch.
You're not having to then try and figure it out when you booked third party while you're in the sea.
No, exactly. And if the internet's just not behaving either.
Yeah. And it's knowing that you're getting back onto the cruise ship. There's no chance the cruise ship's setting off without you.
No.
Having said that, do we always recommend that you go and take an official excursion? No,
We try and do a bit of best of both worlds.
we do. And I think, you know, for our final thoughts, it's guarantees and ease versus price and variety.
Oh,
Do you like that?
I did.
But for us, it comes down to confidence in the ports. Where
Yes.
it's a port that we've been to many times before, or that we've read reviews on, it says it's very easy to just get around,
A manoeuvre.
then we're much more likely to take a chance.
Yes.
If it's somewhere that we're not as sure
We've
about,
not been before, then we will use
we're
them.
much more likely to use the shore
Or if
excursion.
it says the port is in Phuket.
And you're 2 hours away from there,
Yeah.
then we'll often do that.
Yes.
And that's the end of another video, Linz.
Oh, that was a quick one. Oh, cheers, Mikey.
Cheers, everyone.
Thanks for watching and have a lovely day.